Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the Autofocus Awards 2025. Miles and I have driven and reviewed quite a few cars this year, and this is the second time we've done this. We did this last year. We're going to give some awards out to some of the best and most notable, and also one of the worst, that we got to test. So if we tested it, if we drove it, it's eligible. You can look back at this entire year of videos on the channel, and now we're gonna reward some of them.
We've done some hybrids. We've done a lot of fully electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And actually no pure internal combustion engine vehicles minus the Sherp that we did a video on. But that segues us into our very first category. Because we didn't do a full review on a pure ICE car this year, we had to figure out a way to still acknowledge an internal combustion engine vehicle of some kind. So we just decided to come up with a new category called Engine of the Year. And that goes to none other than
The GOAT.
To some, yes. The Porsche 911 992.2 T Hybrid. This is the 3.6 liter electrified turbocharged motor. From an engineering standpoint, I think it's easily the coolest car we might have driven this year.
I'm very jealous that you got to drive it. I was away, obviously. I had a bunch of questions that you answered. I got to drive the GTS, obviously, but this is sort of like the big brother of the GTS. And I'm excited to drive it myself at some point, maybe in 2026.
Yeah, Porsche, let us know when we can get one here.
Have one.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's totally deserved. I think the powertrain, it's not as soulful as Porsches of old, but it does everything you need it to do from a power perspective. I can confirm that. So easy win for the 911.
In the wide world of hybrids, this one actually won the hearts of a lot of car enthusiasts, which is rare.
1,000%.
So that brings us to the other side of that coin, which is the EV of the year. Big category. We review a lot of EVs, a lot of them in a bunch of different categories too, some small ones, some huge ones, some quick sporty ones, some luxury ones, a bunch of different prices. And this goes to one that we really wanted to reward because it deserved it fully. But we also actually have a runner-up.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of good cars this year, and it was kind of hard to choose between these top two, but we are going to give a runner-up first. Who does that go to?
Well, I think it's a car that a lot of people have been talking about amongst all of our channels recently, the Xiaomi SU7. It is not the official winner, but it is our runner-up. I think simply because the idea of it actually being here is kind of a pipe dream. You can't actually own one as a regular consumer. We finagled a way to get one out here for a little bit, but you can't just go to the Xiaomi dealership down the street and buy one. So until that car is real in the United States, just like other Chinese EVs, we can't really give it that credit because the value is theoretical.
But even aside from the price, very impressive vehicle, really good software, really good build, like a overall fundamentally great car.
Yeah.
So very well deserving. I'm not shocked a lot of people watched that video and liked it. But our EV of the year is one that, had a couple little bugs here and there at the beginning, but overall had all the bones and fundamentals that didn't shock us. It was excellent. It's the Lucid Gravity.
Yeah, this is easily, of any EV that you can actually buy here, it's the best one that we've tested, even with its faults like not having CarPlay yet and having a few software issues as Lucids are known to. There's a reason why they lose money on every car that they sell. It's because the packaging is just second to none. Other OEMs like Porsche, BMW, all the other legacy OEMs are playing catch up to achieve the total package that Lucid offers in that premium price bracket.
It kind of shows that they have infinite money to burn.
Yeah.
I mean, what makes a good EV? Really good range, really good performance, really good space and packaging, quiet, good ride, like all the things that you would want. And it kind of looks like a minivan, sure. Not everybody needs a three-row SUV, sure. But if you do want an electric three-row SUV, it's pretty clear this is the best one. And just among all electric cars, well done, Lucid. Not shocked those words are coming out of my mouth. We were very impressed by that car this year.
Yeah, and please do a Sapphire version.
Please. I didn't even think about that. That would be nuts. Yes, please.
Yeah. Hybrid of the year. We reviewed a handful of hybrids this year. And I want to start with our honorable mention, which is the Bentley Continental GT. This is an incredibly expensive car.
Yeah.
Well aware of that. But I mean, to some people, I think you could argue that it's almost the perfect car. It's luxurious. I think it looks great. If you like big engines, it has that going for it. It's really fast, really comfortable. The technology, I think, is where it needs to be. It has the rotating screen party trick, and it just rides amazingly and actually offers reasonable electric range, like 25 plus miles.
Yeah, when you look at what you want out of a hybrid, obviously we've talked about the 911 already, and that is a performance-oriented hybrid. But I think a lot of hybrids you want like flexibility out of. That's the whole point of a hybrid. And so to get the obviously gas fill up experience, but also to be able to go pure EV if you want to, or to get that flexibility is nice. I also really like the materials in that car. It's really, really nice to sit in.
Yeah.
But our winner for best hybrid of the year, looking back at all the ones we reviewed, giving it to the Toyota Camry hybrid.
Your first car.
Oh, reliable.
Yeah.
I first got my Camry back in 2015. No regrets. I put a ton of miles on that thing. It was extremely reliable. I think I averaged like 45 miles per gallon for my lifetime of that car. And you fast forward to 2025, and out comes the new Camry, and it's bulletproof. It looks fine. It's super reliable. It has the flexibility. You can go EV only if you want. What's more to love?
Yeah, this is literally the only car we've had at the studio this year that I have not even once thought about, the gas station. We had it for an entire week. It did not see a gas station the entire week. It's really that good.
Toyota is kind of all in on the hybrid thing.
Yeah.
It shows. Like, they don't make a ton of EVs. They don't make a ton of pure gas cars, but they sure make hybrids.
Yeah.
And the Camry stood out. Well done, Toyota.
Absolutely.
All right, next category. We actually had this one last year as well. Most efficient.
Yeah.
And this is a bunch of different factors that can go into this, and obviously it's our awards, so we're choosing our criteria for this. But obviously efficiency in a car is fuel efficiency, it's aerodynamic efficiency, it's energy efficiency, probably also cost efficiency matters a lot to a buyer.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in an honorable mention before the winner, which is the Polestar 1, which we actually got to try this year.
I would say that's the most, not my favorite car, but I think just the most interesting car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad we finally got to test it, because I've driven a bunch of the Polestars, the EVs that I know that I'm irrationally a fan of. And so getting to see the OG hybrid Polestar and it actually being efficient and it actually being kind of, interesting is the best word to describe it, was really cool. So I'm glad we got to test it this year. So worth a shout out there. But the most efficient car, it's the Camry hybrid. Again, it's getting the trophy. Not that we have a trophy for every category, but it is getting the trophy for most efficient. I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't remember how many miles per gallon I averaged, but it must have been 40-something again.
I think we might have been knocking on 50s, actually.
Yeah.
We'll have to verify that, but I think we might have been knocking on the 50s. Like I said, the only car we reviewed this year where I did not think once about going to a gas station. Yeah. It's truly that good.
It's kind of Toyota in their prime. Toyota did the Prius that we reviewed maybe 2-3 years ago, however long ago it was, that had the solar panels on top. Like, that's peak hybrid Toyota efficiency.
Yeah.
The Camry is just right along the same lines. It's bulletproof.
Pretty hard not to recommend.
Yeah.
Okay. Best performance. Cars are getting outrageous. Cars are getting crazy.
Yeah.
Cars are getting crazy. We took a pickup truck to a drag strip, a stock electric pickup truck to a drag strip, because it was literally that quick. And the pickup truck in question is, I guess, both yours, but also the brand new R1T quad from Rivian.
Yeah, just a casual 1,000 horsepower on a street tire, all-wheel drive, ran, low 10s? Did we get mid-10s, low 10s on it?
Mid-10s.
Unbelievable. And also extremely capable. So, like, performance, again, you can define kind of however you want. I think the performance envelope of the Rivian is massive, because the quad does what it does on street tires, which is ridiculous, but you can turn it into like a obscenely capable off-roader. I am so super happy with my first gen. I can't imagine how much more capable the second gen is. I mean, it is a very capable vehicle. Also, it rides better than the R1S still.
Yeah.
like a lot better.
Yeah.
So-
You can't argue with 0 to 60, and I think we got like 2.7 seconds was our best time. I have this little leaderboard where I like log all of my 0 to 60s in cars, and that is still within the top 3.
And a 7,000-pound truck.
Yes, in a 7,000-pound truck.
But that's just our second place. That's just our honorable mention because the GOAT was in the building. This year, we saw Porsche refresh the 992.2 Turbo S, and it's winning performance of the year. So I want to throw back to the GTS just a little bit. When we saw Porsche doing a hybrid in the 911 for the first time, we all went, okay, how are they going to do this? They have this tiny battery. They have the torque fill. They have, obviously, the strategically placed electric motors. It was a night and day difference versus the last gen in how responsive it was, especially at lower RPMs. It felt naturally aspirated. It felt like I had like full electric drive. So again, you drove it. So you know what that torque fill is like at higher speeds, but it's just such a good performer.
There was a lot of like very empty open roads on a Sunday morning, and there was a small stretch where I got to just finally put my foot all the way to the floor, and that's when I realized, this car is no joke. It is now second place on my leaderboard for 0 to 60, 2.34 seconds. I believe, on the street. So, I mean, take this to a drag strip and it could be like 2 seconds flat, maybe even slightly less than that. And the best part is that it's doing all this with absolutely zero fuss. Like this is what they call an Autobahn missile, which has like a de-restricted speed limit in certain areas, and you could just cruise at 150 miles an hour, no problem.
Go for that.
Yeah, the car is just... It could literally do it all day. So unrelenting performance is why it's easily the best car of the year.
I remember watching all the reviews, and especially even of the last gen 911 Turbo S, which was a surprising amount of people saying it was too good. It was ridiculously capable and never really made a big deal about it. It's true again.
Yeah.
It's true again.
That's my problem with it, is that it's literally just too perfect. I was like, where do we go from here?
Yeah, you need a little imperfection.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally the tires. Like, we have to come up with new tire technology to accommodate the amount of power that these cars put down. It's nuts. But
It's sick.
Congrats, Porsche.
All right, next category, best luxury. Okay, so like we said, we've reviewed a bunch of cars, got to test things in a bunch of different price ranges. And I definitely have one I want to give this award to, but also a runner-up, and we've seen this kind of floating around, super, super limited edition, super bespoke Cadillac Celestique. They finally started rolling these things out. And this is a ridiculous car. This is like a $400,000 fully electric Cadillac, but every single one is built fully custom down to the colors, the paints, the materials, the stitching, every single little detail on the interior. The one we had was berry blue through the whole thing. I don't know who made that spec, but that's the press one that we got. And gosh, it was actually really nice. It was nice to sit in, super spacious, super long. I think it's longer than the Escalade, which is also really funny.
Yeah.
But when I think about luxury, I think about like, where do I want to just relax and spend time and just sit down and not really be stressed ever? And that car, it did that for me.
Yeah, I was really curious about this because GM, they're the king of parts binning. So it's like you step into a Chevy Bolt and you feel the window switches and the turnstock, and then you jump into an $150,000 Corvette and you've got the same terrible feeling turnstock. So I was really curious to see what a GM car that is genuinely focused on luxury and pulling out all the stops, what that would be like, and it didn't disappoint. Yeah. Every touch point felt super premium. I guess the only thing that was really the same was the software, but everything else felt like a genuine upgrade from what you would expect from General Motors. So that's what surprised me the most.
Yeah, but I do have a winner. And I don't know how hot of a take this is, but I think this is an incredible luxury experience, and I'll defend it. Volvo EX90.
Yeah.
Volvo EX90 was so good. So I remember when they first dropped it off, actually. They give a little spiel, walk around, show you what's new. And I remember one of the people said something about like, I think maybe compare this to like the Rolls Royce that you had, like the Spectre. And immediately in my head, I was like, you're confident. That's crazy. But I didn't forget about that. And then we started testing it and driving it around. Suspension rides super, super well.
Really
it's not a performance vehicle. It happened to be a twin motor, 600 horsepower, whatever, but like rides super well. Part 2 was the sound isolation. Sitting in this cabin, it was about as good as the Spectre as far as like put all the windows up and you're kind of just in a room where you don't hear anything else around you. Super, super luxury. And then on top of all of that, the speakers. The speakers in the EX90 are unreal good.
Yes.
Top 3 I've ever heard in a vehicle, period. I've tested a lot of car speakers. I paired my phone to it and streamed Spotify over Bluetooth, and I was just sitting there finishing a song and parking and finishing my ride, and I said, let me sit here and listen to the rest of the song on these speakers. Yeah. So the luxury experience from materials to ride to sound was unreal. I have to give it this award.
Yeah, we've definitely heard a lot of feedback about that car as far as what it's actually like to live with and potential software issues and whatnot. We're definitely aware of that. But from a pure touch point experience standpoint, the luxury you're getting for the money, it's truly up there for like an everyday grocery getter electric SUV.
Yeah, I'll die on this hill. I thought about getting one. I was like,
really?
Do we need the Rivian anymore? I thought about it. I don't need a 3-row SUV. And like in this category, I'd probably end up just keeping like the Rivian or like the R1S or something like that with a tow hitch. But I was like, dang, I really want to just keep listening to those speakers and driving and chilling in that car. It was good. Yeah. But yeah, that's the award. Shout out to Volvo. They had a couple other cars we really liked this year. Go watch that one if you haven't seen it. EX90.
Really good. Okay, so here's, as you like to say, the award that you hate to give. Bust of the year. Yeah. Man, oh man. So first, honorable mention, a car that we had recently in the past month or so, the Jeep Wagoneer S. You got to spend a bit more time with this one than I did, but I did not hear great things from you.
Really baffling. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time with Stellantis products in general, so I came into this kind of like optimistic about it. I didn't read comments. I looked at the site and the specs, and I started driving it and living with it. And day by day, I would walk into the studio and be like, this Jeep's pretty bad, huh? Like, it was just bad all around. Didn't have a ton of range, didn't have great design, didn't feel like a bespoke EV, and just, not a lot of confidence, inspiration in that thing. And not cheap either. So yeah, just kind of not good in any way, unfortunately. I think the lights looked cool. I'll throw that out there.
Yeah, there was a couple of nice things about it.
Yeah.
But our actual winner of Bust of the Year is another Stellantis product, and I think you all might have an idea of what it is. It's the Dodge Charger Daytona EV, the Scat Pack Fratsonic, whatever you want to call it.
Chambered exhaust or whatever.
This is it was a really disappointing product for many reasons. Not only is it just another $70,000+ EV that kind of just doesn't stack up against the likes of like a Tesla on paper in any regard as an electric car, but what they had to achieve with a successor to the Dodge Charger, the bar was so low. I feel like no one was really asking for 911 Turbo S handling capabilities or, acceleration deployment. It just make the tires spin and make cool muscle car sounds. The rest you can kind of just, you don't have to really take that seriously.
What's crazy? When you say tires spinning, I'm just thinking back to the Jeep where it was on 235s or whatever and had way too much power. And in regular mode, if you stamped it, it would spin the tires. Yeah. But then this one, where the whole point is to kind of be rowdy, it didn't have enough power, it had too much weight, and it couldn't spin the tires. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, all we wanted, and I'm not a Jeep or Stellantis Dodge person, but speaking for them, all they wanted was tire spin V8. And we get it, emissions, EPA, all of that fun stuff kind of, I guess, prevented them from coming out the gates with a V8. But the muscle car formula, I feel like, is pretty easy to achieve for a company that's already been doing it for many, many years. So not only was it a bad successor to the original Charger and Challenger, but it was also just a bad EV for the money. And when you combine those two things, I think it was pretty easy to give it the bust of the year.
You think they thought they cooked when they made it?
I mean,
because if they were up to the exhaust, to be fair, is the loudest I've ever heard from an EV.
It's loud.
But that is a very strange bar. Like the loudest EV. Okay, congrats, you did it. It's got the loudest speakers or fratsonic chamber exhaust. Sure.
Yeah.
So maybe they thought they were cooking, and then but not a lot of range, not a lot of space. It ended up just being kind of like a chill, boaty grocery getter, which is kind of hilarious given the reputation of those cars. But yeah, not the hottest thing they've ever made.
Yeah, I've heard the V8s are coming back, and I think that is a great idea.
All right, so our most improved award. You know, I do the smartphones every year, and the smartphone awards, it's kind of hard sometimes to pick a most improved because smartphones don't change that much. They're so mature. But it's crazy. Cars are hundreds of years old, and every year there's big changes, and that's really interesting. I have a runner-up that I'll mention first, and that is the 992.2 platform, just the GTS. The hybrid 911, the first hybrid 911 comes out, and it's got this hybrid system. And I've driven the GTS before. I've driven the gas 911s before. And yeah, I was shocked. I felt like it was essentially old Turbo S type performance.
Yep.
As terms of straight line, in terms of feel, I mean, Porsche does a great job with all the interiors, but it felt like I was driving a Turbo S.
100%.
Not that they're cheap cars, but it's much cheaper than a Turbo S would be. And yeah, the low RPM responsiveness, the execution of the hybrid system, just wanted to shout that out. Very big improvement for Porsche year over year.
That is all the 911 you need. Trust me.
Yeah.
When driving the Turbo S, I'm like, I couldn't have gone any faster in this car than I did in the GTS.
On the street,
On the street. That is all the 911 you need.
So that deserves a mention. But there was another hybrid that also got our most improved this year from a brand that maybe needed this. McLaren Artura. You got to drive the Artura Spider.
Yeah.
And I hear really good things about the Artura, so I'm impressed.
Yeah. I think the bones were there for the initial Artura when they launched it, but just typical McLaren stuff, build quality, software issues. I heard, screws falling out of press cars and whatnot. But after driving a lot of the 7 Series cars, some of the 6 Series cars, we even experienced P1. When I hopped in this car and started driving it for the first hour or so, I was like, this is easily the most solid and complete and most refined car that they've ever made. And the only McLaren that I genuinely feel like you could daily drive. Every other car they make, I think they're so cool because they tire you out. Honestly, I get out of a 765 LT
Rowdy.
and I want to go to sleep. I feel like the Artura is a genuine daily driver supercar, if you want to call it that. Speakers are really good. The technology, zero software issues. Build quality was phenomenal. I think it's just easily the most complete car that they've ever made. And coming from their initial version, which was not so hot, I think, it's easily the biggest jump in improvements for any car that we've reviewed this year.
Really good year for McLaren.
Yeah.
All around.
Yes. Please let us drive the W1. Please.
I wasn't even thinking that far ahead, but that would be very exciting. Next year's going to be fun.
Yes. Very fun. So now here's the big one. This is Vehicle of the Year. This is the one we actually have a trophy for. It's sitting right over here. And if you are the recipient of this award, we will send you this trophy, and it can live in the office of said company if you would like. I'll be reaching out after this video is out. But we've got to talk about our honorable mentions. First one, once again, the Carrera GTS. I think, like you said, it's all the 911 you need. I think for driving on the street, it truly is peak 911 in my opinion. It rides a little bit rougher than the Turbo, but from a performance and value standpoint, if you want to call it that, I think it's just,
air quotes value.
Yeah, value.
Yeah.
I think it's such a great car.
Anybody who is nervous about a hybrid 911, we're good.
Yeah,
They figured it out.
They definitely figured it out.
Yeah.
And then runner up to that is Lucid Gravity. Now, I want to say this actually almost did get Vehicle of the Year, just because I feel like as an EV, issues aside that they've had with software, it's just such a complete package for the price. And, when comparing it to other cars in its price range and category, I think it easily sweeps on paper and from an experience standpoint.
Pure capability-wise, pretty elite. Pretty elite. The Lucid Gravity. I remember getting to test it maybe a year or two ago at this point when it was just sitting in a showroom. And even if I'm not in love with the aesthetics, what Lucid continues to do with their efficiency and their motors and their performance and the suspension and the packaging and the space, like getting in that thing and realizing this is an 800 horsepower family 3-row electric SUV that has like all of the great like daily amenities. It's impressive stuff.
Yeah. But then we thought about a vehicle that does 80% of what the Gravity can do for tens of thousands of dollars less. And it became pretty clear what our vehicle of the year was. It isn't a car that we necessarily raved about, but when just thinking about such a complete package for the money, the choice was pretty clear. Our vehicle of the year goes to Hyundai with the Ioniq 9.
This category was popping this year. This full-size 3-row electric, we probably reviewed 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
And I really liked a lot of them. I really liked the Escalade IQ, monster. I really liked the Vistique, if I'm even pronouncing that right. Just a little bit of a toned-down version, tons of space still. We have, obviously Rivian's R1S, which is like the all-around like off-roader adventure-themed version of this.
Volvo EX90.
I've ranted about the EX90, and I love that thing. Obviously, it's got the luxury going. All of these cost more than the Ioniq 9. But the Ioniq 9, and probably alongside Kia EV9, are the ones that have like all of the space still, this really great solid drivetrain, a good amount of range, good software,
NACS.
good materials, NACS port, just good everything. And if you trim the price down as much as they did on the Ioniq 9 and give people that experience for that, like there's no faulting it. Like there's a lot, and it's kind of handsome, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hyundai is cooking with these lights and the designs they're doing on the front of these things. It rode well. This thing is it's great.
Yeah. I honestly didn't expect the Ioniq 9 to be as good as it is, given the fact that it's based on the same platform as the EV9, which I thought was solid. But the way Hyundai takes that platform and gives you so much value for the money as far as what you're getting, all the heated, cooled seats in the first and second row.
Well optioned.
Yeah, really
like it
well
started, optioned. So our spec was probably like 80 that we reviewed, but it starts, I think, at like 59. And so you can get a well optioned Ioniq 9 for under 80, and it does almost everything that the 100+ K Rivian and Lucid are doing, which is awesome. So yeah, well done. Vehicle of the Year. It's not a small award. We made a real trophy for it. So Hyundai, if you want it, you'll get an email from us, but reach out if you're interested. And yeah, we do actually have 2 more awards to give out though. The Marques Award and the Miles Award. Now I've reviewed a lot of cars and I have my own taste in cars that people kind of get calibrated to. So the Marques Award is going to a car that I really like, but
one of your irrational favorites.
I'm not necessarily recommending it.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed it this year, and that is the Volvo EX30.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like the EX90. You guys know that already. But the EX30, this fun we had like a little yellow one. This thing was so much fun. It is a small EV. It had okay range. It had okay software. It had like a kind of an eco-conscious plant-based interior type thing going on. Like Volvo does build quality well, so like, okay, it was built well. But just a fun little thing to drive around. It had just enough storage. I would just throw my backpack in the back seat, and then it was just a nice little commuter. And it feels like the iPhone Air. Like I wish it had a better battery, and I wish it had just a little bit more capabilities. But it was too fun not to just shout it out. I have to give that just a mention. The Marques Award, EX30.
Okay, Miles Award. If we had just shot this like 15 years ago, it would easily have gone to the E92 M3. It's just the best.
If it was 2010.
Yeah, if it was 2010. Yeah. But it's 2025. The Miles Award goes to the Lamborghini Urus SE, the hybrid.
How I'm supposed to say it?
That's how Lamborghini PR says it. It feels very uncomfortable for me to say it that way.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The Lamborghini's SUV hybrid, the SE. Insanely expensive, well aware. And the performance isn't even the best within its segment. The Cayenne Turbo GT is quicker. I think even the Aston Martin DBX 707 is quicker. But I think as a hybrid big boat SUV, it's just a lot of fun. And I think it's really hard these days for all of these crazy high horsepower super SUVs and sedans to feel fun in non-track, pedal to the floor scenarios. But it had an insanely loud Akrapovic exhaust
That was the fun.
with a really goofy burble tune on it. It was just enjoyable for me to use in very casual, chill situations, and that it has the insane interior and exterior styling that, is to
23-inch
some
wheels, I think.
Massive wheels.
Huge wheels.
Massive wheels. So it did not ride amazingly. But I think, it's hard to argue with from a fun factor perspective. And that was the first time I really got to live with one of Lamborghini's SUVs, and that's when it made me realize I get it now. I get why everyone likes these things.
Yeah, Lamborghini does fun.
Yeah.
They kept the fun factor high this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
They're cooking with Revuelto, this, and Temerario, which hopefully we'll drive
That
next
might be a
year.
26 review, maybe. Yeah. We love the fun. Obviously, EX30 is the fun. Here's the big award, okay? So Ioniq 9. Leave us your comments, though, because there are for sure vehicles we didn't review this year, but that were very interesting and could have maybe won these awards if we got to test them. We still could test them. They could be next year reviews. So hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Catch you later. Peace.